Hi. Um, I wanted to make this video because I've been thinking. And this time I've been thinking about introverts and extroverts. So the reason I've been thinking about introverts and extroverts is because I think I might be both. And I wonder if that's possible, or if I need to choose one or the other. So I'm planning to look a bit more closely at what they both mean, and then see if I can relate them to my own experiences so that I can try to make a decision about which I am. And if you've seen my previous videos, you'll know that I like to think deeply about things, which I think makes me an introvert. But I also love people and can get energy from my interactions with other people, which I think makes me an extrovert. So I'm confused. Well, let's have a look. Let's start by having a look at what might be considered to be the official definitions. So firstly, introverts. Introverts are individuals who tend to feel more energised and comfortable in solitary or low stimulation environments. They tend to be thoughtful and introspective, and often spending time contemplating their thoughts and feelings. They usually prefer deep, meaningful conversations over small talk and may have a smaller circle of close friends. Introversion exists on a spectrum, and individuals may exhibit varying degrees of these traits. Being introverted doesn't mean being shy or socially anxious, although there can sometimes be an overlap. So that's introvert. What is extrovert? Extroverts tend to enjoy being around people and often seek out social activities, interactions and gatherings. They usually feel energised and revitalised after social activities, often needing regular interaction to feel their best. Extroverts are often outgoing, talkative and comfortable sharing their thoughts and feelings openly. They thrive in lively environments and enjoy activities that involve external engagement, such as parties, group projects or team sports. Extroverts typically find it easy to initiate conversations and make new friends. They are generally more attuned to their surroundings than their internal thoughts. Extroversion also exists on a spectrum, so individuals may display varying degrees of these traits. Being extroverted doesn't necessarily mean being overly outgoing or loud, but rather having a tendency to gain energy from social interactions. So there you have it. That's introverts and extroverts. So I wonder how many people hearing those descriptions feel sure about which one they are. When I hear the first one, I think, yep, that could be me. But then I hear the second one and I think, yep, that could be me. I'm definitely introspective and I spend a lot of time contemplating my thoughts and feelings. And if I don't have a bit of space each day just for quiet thinking, I start to feel uneasy. But I'm not sure that I get energised by it. I just enjoy it, as well as it feeling like a basic need for me. I do like deep and meaningful conversations about difficult or challenging subjects, but I also like light-hearted silliness that has no real depth or purpose other than fun. I'm not shy, but I can be socially anxious, even though I like spending time with people. I can be talkative. I enjoy sharing my thoughts and feelings with other people. I'm generally very aware of my surroundings, but I'm also very aware of my internal thoughts and feelings. I can get energy from social interactions, but it can also drain me of energy. So I wonder if any of that is resonating with other people. I'm starting to feel more sure that I can't define myself as either introvert or extrovert. So does it even matter anyway? So when I tried looking into the reasons that it might be useful to know which you are, they were actually quite compelling. For example, your personal well-being, because getting the right balance between social time and alone time to meet your needs, can help in managing stress and maintaining good mental health. Career development, because if you can align your career with your own natural tendencies, can lead to greater job satisfaction and success. And also improved relationships, because if you have better self-awareness, it can help you understand your preferences, your strengths, your limitations, and make you more able to ask for what you need. So they all sound like quite good reasons, but still I can't get those. But can I get those benefits if I don't align with either of those descriptions? I'll probably feel closer to introvert, but I can't ignore the connection that I also feel towards some of the extrovert traits. So, just when I was thinking it was time to give up and that this wasn't the right subject for me, I came across the term ambivert, and suddenly I was saved. So, I'd never heard of ambivert before, and if you also haven't, here's the description. So, ambiverts have a balanced mix of characteristics from both ends of the spectrum. For example, they might enjoy socialising and feel energised by interactions. They also value and need time alone to recharge. Their behaviour can vary depending on the context, mood, or specific circumstances. Overall, ambiversion reflects the idea that personality traits are not strictly binary but exist on a continuum, allowing for a more nuanced and adaptable personality profile. So, I'd never heard of that before. So maybe we're all ambiverts, really. But I guess it's probably useful to remember that introversion and extroversion are, they're just one aspect of someone's identity. And it is possible to adapt our behaviour to something different from our natural tendencies. Probably the important thing is being aware of what those natural tendencies are for you, so that you can make the right decisions in your life to keep your stress levels low and your energy levels high. I guess if you know you're adapting your natural tendencies to allow for the situation that you find yourself in, you can make a plan for how to rest and recharge your energy afterwards. That awareness could also help you feel more confident about when might be the right time to say no to something. If your energy is already low, it wouldn't be good for you to go straight to another situation that would also need you to adapt your natural tendencies and would therefore drain your energy even further. If you have an awareness of what's causing your energy to drop, and also how to recharge it, you've given yourself a useful tool in managing your life and your well-being. I do wonder if having that awareness is maybe easier for people who fit more closely into those definitions of introvert and extrovert, because they may be more sure of which situations will drain them and which will energise them. I still feel a bit confused about that for me, so I think I'll probably have to pay more attention to each scenario that I find myself in and make a note of what it does to my energy. I'd really like to have a clearer picture of what drains me and what doesn't. And at least then, I could feel clearer about how to make the right decisions. I do at least understand now why it's difficult for me to feel clear about that. But I guess the main takeaway is that knowing yourself is the most important thing in order to be able to make the best decisions about your own well-being. You don't need a label for that, but those descriptions and labels of introvert and extrovert and ambivert can be useful on that journey of getting to know yourself. So maybe, like me, you might want to start paying more attention to what impact different situations have on your energy levels, so that you can start to use that knowledge to your advantage. For example, if you find that spending time with a particular friend always gives you an energy boost, maybe you could try and plan ahead to see them at a time when you know that you'll need a boost. Or if you know that you'll need time alone after a social interaction, you can make sure that you've planned for it and that you won't accidentally end up in another draining situation straight after the first one. Get to know yourself first and then start making your plans around what you find out. That's what I'm planning to do. So, thinking back to the original question, is it possible to be both introvert and extrovert? And does it matter? Well, I got a clear answer on that. Yes, it is possible, and that makes you an ambivert. It does matter which you are, but not because of the name, but because it helps you to build your life around your natural tendencies and preferences. And that, in turn, will help you to feel better each day and to feel that you're building a life that is a good fit for you and your personality. So I'm pleased that I spent some time on this subject, and I plan to use what I found to carry on getting to know myself a bit better. So I hope you've taken something useful from this video, but I think that's all for this time. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.